we live? Yep. I'm just going to do a quick message. Oh, he says knocking his mouse off his computer. Yes, I am live on Instagram. Trying this out again, a bit more properly this time. I have got a fan on in the background, that's what you can hear. Let me just... There we go. Just doing a quick tweet. I am now live on Instagram. It's good when you've got the and I've lost my mouse. That's the big problem when you've got two screens. Where is my mouse? There we go. Do come join me. Hashtag hello, welcome, thank you for joining me. I normally do live streams through YouTube, but I have to use Streamlabs, which the picture quality is absolutely dreadful. So I decided to give Instagram streaming a go. I did a test run on Saturday, and bear with me. I did a test run on Saturday, and yeah, it went rather well. As I say, I normally stream on a Saturday evening about 9 o'clock, so this is very impromptu, very unprepared. But yeah, so if you've never met me before, AfolASMR. Go by the name of Matt. I have a channel on YouTube which I'm working very hard on. Well, you know, I put a lot of hard work and effort into it. I'm just going to put some more light on. There we go. It's not much, but it's better than it was. So, you know, yeah, my channel turns a year old next month. The project that I run on it actually started in July last year. The original videos aren't there. Well, they are, but they're in a playlist. They're unlisted, but they're in a playlist, so you can see the videos in their original format before I edited them with new titles and fix the audio to make it more palatable for the ears, shall we say. Yeah, so, you know, I'm currently not working, so whilst between looking for jobs, I've been script writing, editing, producing, completely amateur, no budget, hence why I always say I can't take professional queries. So, you know, yeah, working on my channel. Another collaboration on the way. I can't speak this evening. I seem to be losing the ability of speech. Yeah, so 12 main chapters up so far. I think there's about, I want to say there's about 27 videos. I can check because I've got my laptop on, or my computer. As I say, normally I'm used to doing it on my laptop there, but the picture quality is awful because I use Streamlabs. I can't do a proper stream using my phone through YouTube itself because I haven't got 1,000 subscribers. You need 1,000. I've only got 328 at the moment. You know, I'm always looking for subscribers. I just wish to have the community tab. That is my one true wish. That, you know, to have the community tab on YouTube would make my life so much better as a YouTuber, because I could, you know, I wouldn't have to rely on Twitter and Instagram to get my messages out. I could do it directly through YouTube, but I need 1,000 subscribers to do it. And my channel grows so slowly. That's the thing. You know, I work so hard on my content. You know, I write scripts. You know, the people I work with, they either make audio contributions or video contributions. And the thing is, you know, I edit it all together, and when it's audio, I create all the sort of artwork for it. I actually go into Photoshop, I scroll through Pixabay, and I really pour my heart and soul into my work. You know, I never even imagined The Lord of War and Heartache would get past a single chapter. You know, I never imagined it would get to the point that we would be getting up to, what, chapter 13, which will be up soon. I've got one more video to get from that, and you know, that's, you know, I mean, there's 28 videos in this playlist, you know, 12 main chapters, and something like, I want to say something like 16 side story chapters. Yeah, that would make 28 videos, 16 side story chapters. And I just, you know, it's a passion. It is a real passion. I'd work, you know, when I'm not looking for work, I'm working on my hobby. It is my hobby. I've got many other hobbies as well, but collaborating with other people has given me purpose. Thank you, Sevatavi. I'm doing well, thank you. You know, and I've got about 5 more scripts to write. I've got characters I'm looking to get people involved in up to chapter 31. I've planned ahead to chapter 31, and I've got something like 6,262 names for potential. They're not all going to be characters. I'm not going to have 6,262 characters, but that's the number of names I've got that I can combine to make characters for the entire project. You know, that's amazing. You know, I've trawled the internet looking for names, and yeah, sorry, I beg your pardon, not 6,000, 2,622. I misquote myself. Never mind. That's by the by. It's still a heck of a lot of names. 2,622. Because I can combine them and make full names, and that's a lot of characters. That's a lot of character combinations. As I say, I've got notes and things planned for up to chapter 31 in the project, and you know, we're only up to chapter 12 on the actual channel. There's a prequel coming out to chapter 13 this week. I've already recorded that. I do the voices. It's another Lord Volkov video. I voice Lord Volkov and his minions. I tend to do voice acting. I always give participants the choice between making a character video or voice acting. I personally myself, it's perfect if you don't like appearing on camera. You know, that's the beauty of it. It allows people to participate who would not perhaps normally participate in a collaboration. So they still have the opportunity to do so. And as I say, I write the whole thing. I create all the notes, I produce it. There's no budget, but I produce it, and I edit it. You know, I do all the technical. You know, and when there are things that require sound effects, I have a library of sound effects as well, along with a library of music. The theme tunes are all Kevin MacLeod. I can never say his name. Kevin MacLeod. I make sure I use the there's bits you need to put in the videos for copyright. So if you ever see one of the videos and scroll down, you will see a list of all the tracks I use in the project. You know, I also voice a lot of the characters. And I have you know, quite a bit of fun doing it. My favourites are probably Rafik, the rogue, and of course the leader of the vampires, Lord Volkov. He is probably my most favourite to voice, because once I use Audacity to edit my voice. There's only one character that I voice in the entire project, and he's only appeared once, that uses my natural voice. Although it's made to sound very posh. It's made to sound very posh. But the character is called Mr. Lancelot Phipps, and that's the only time I've never actually put my voice through Audacity. For Lord Volkov, I normally take it down to a picture of -20. It ranges anywhere from -10 to -20 depending on the character. -15 for most of my human characters, but at least 20 for vampires, or 15 or 20 for vampires, maybe 30, maybe -30. And what I like about it is Volkov has a very rich, deep, booming voice, very rich and deep, and it works really well. He's not the main villain. The main villain still hasn't even made a full appearance yet. The Tyrant King. He is yet. We are building up to him returning. Technically, a bit of exposition for you. Chapter 1 basically gives the background of the Tyrant King and the sort of a little bit of the history. Chapter 2 kind of introduces the concept of vampires. Chapter 3 introduces the concept of the peacekeepers. Chapter 4 is where the viewer, obviously, who takes on the role of the diplomat. To begin with, they're just called the traveller, but we've now established that the viewer is referred to as the diplomat. Anyway, chapter 4 is arriving in the city of Gebelra, where the viewer meets various characters and prepares to meet with certain dignitaries in order to see the artifact they've come to see, which is the crown of the Tyrant King. Chapter 5, they're actually instigated in the theft of the crown of the Tyrant King. Chapter 6, they end up being suspected of the theft, and they know they're guilty. 7, they join a travelling troupe of vampires to try to escape the city. 8, chapter 8, they get beaten to a pulp and then cared for by a healer. Chapter 9, they investigate the town before escaping. Chapter 10, they meet a member of the Governor's Guard on the road that they're escaping on. Chapter 11 actually takes us to Ondar City and adds a bit of backstory to the main series. And chapter 12, the most recent, picks up again with the healer and the peacekeepers. Now, I've only given... thank you for joining me, thank you, indeed. Now, obviously, I've only given very, very, very loose outlines for this project. However, I would highly recommend seeing each chapter from chapter 1 at the very beginning, because you do kind of, to get the full feeling, chapter 1, I will admit, is very bland. It was my very first attempt at this type of video. I have done voice acting before. I did a very short-lived sci-fi series on my channel, which only has 8 chapters. The problem with that one is sci-fi is very rigid in its rules, and I didn't really know where I wanted to take it. Therefore, I left it as is, because I just don't know what direction I want to take it in. This one being fantasy, sort of based on things like Lord of the Rings, Elder Scrolls, Warhammer Fantasy, anything like that. Dungeons and Dragons even, anything that I can be influenced by from fantasy. There's an element of inspiration there. And I decided to do it as a fantasy story because I quite like the concept, and with fantasy, anything goes, really. So I very much took that concept, developed it. The whole thing started out because of a meme on Twitter, that I saw on Twitter. And, because of that, I thought, why not? Why not? It was the title that gifted itself, really. It was all... I am going to be doing a video about it on my channel. And that was my chair, I beg your pardon. As I say, I will be doing a video about it and working on some background material. There's already a video that introduces the background for Lord Volkov, sort of like, I call it a character biography. I do intend to do more, because I have a whole range of characters that deserve to have biographies for their background, you know, to give a bit of exposition for them. And what I intend to do is work my way through several of the more major characters. As I say, I've already done one for Lord Volkov, and that's on my channel. Rafik will have one. I don't think the Tyrant King will, because I want to keep him with an air of mystery. I really do want to keep him with an air of mystery. Having said that, I think that what I would really like to do is, I mean, as I say, I've got the main series going, and then we've got the Academy, which I've got some participants for. You may have heard me mention it on my thread, on my feed and everything. But I'm always looking for people to participate. Always looking for people to participate. And I've expanded it from just ASMR artists. You know, anyone who enjoys acting, performing, voice acting on an amateur level. I can't do professional because there's no budget. I've even opened it up to cosplayers. Who enjoy acting, because it's a lot of fun. And everyone who's involved. If you look on my feed, because I'm sure you'll be watching this back, if you look at my feed, you will see a post regarding my 3 golden rules on how I like to work with my collaborations. And you know, it's like an aesthetic that I work close with. So my sort of rules are, you know, don't force people into characters they won't feel comfortable with. Work with them so that they feel safe and comfortable in the characters they've chosen. Participants always get to choose their role. I never allocate them a role. Everyone gets to choose. Because I think that's the best way of working. It's no good giving anyone a role that they won't enjoy. I think if you get to choose a role, you've got to choose the one that appeals to you the most, the one that sticks out to you the most. I think that makes it so much better and easier for everyone involved. Having said that, you know, some people have said, well, could you suggest a role? And I can suggest, but very much, you know, as I say, my 3 golden rules are never force anyone to take a role. Cooperate and work with them to keep them safe. Hello, Uplifting. Thank you for joining me. You know, work and cooperate with them. Answer any questions they have. And my 3rd golden rule is family and personal life always come first. If any person who collaborates with me on my project has a personal family issue that needs to be sorted, that takes priority. My project is nowhere near as important as that. And obviously they're welcome to come back, and I will always extend the deadlines, I will always suspend the deadlines, I will do everything I can to ensure that people can participate, feel safe, feel comfortable in their roles, feel happy in their roles, hence why they get to choose rather than me allocating, because I would feel uncomfortable allocating someone a role. That's not the way I am. Collaboration is all about working together. That's the thing. That's the whole gist of collaboration. If I were to allocate a role to someone, that would just put me in charge. Yeah, I write the series, I created the series, but it's the people who participate, who make the series. I mean, well, I make the series, but I mean, I edit it, I produce it, I write it, but it's the people that become involved with me that make the series. They bring it to life, they bring my world to life. I always thought it would be a solo project where I do all the voices and all the, all the artwork and everything. And it's gone beyond what I ever thought it would be. It really has gone beyond what I ever thought it would be. I mean, we're up to 12 main chapters and 16 side story chapters. And chapter 13 is on the way. As I say, I'm waiting for one more contribution for that. But the 17th side story chapter will be up this week, once I've got it edited. I will probably be doing more of these on Instagram as well, these live streams, because, as I say, YouTube I have to use a small, because I'm only a small channel at about 328 subscribers, I'm not really big enough to do proper live stream on YouTube using the good quality camera that is my phone. I have to use my laptop camera, which is, because I use Streamlabs, which is rather poor quality, very poor quality. If you've seen my playbacks, very, very poor quality. I'm fortunate, however, that I've got a Blue Yeti mic, one of these, and this is what I do all my voice recording on. It's if you're an ASMR artist, this is an ASMR artist's best friend. Some people use the Tascam. There's other microphones as well, but for me, I'm so glad I went with the Blue Yeti. I'm really happy with it. I personally, they're wonderful mics, absolutely wonderful mics. I personally won't do anything like slime videos with them. I'm very, 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 very attached to this mic, I will say. Yeah, because I'm not a traditional ASMR artist. I don't finger flutter. I don't sort of do mouth sounds, except obviously, technically I do because I'm a voice actor. So, I don't do. I'm not a mainstream ASMR artist. I'm a storyteller. One of my biggest influences, in fact, is Whisperwind ASMR. I've become sort of, I have become friends with her, through social media, and I've become friends with a lot of fantastic ASMR artists. Yourself included, Uplifting. Who else? Sleeping Artist, Jess K Creative, Swarms, Yoloma, Raina, Crystal Ball. Who else? Stormy Tingles. Lumi Umi, Shani. You know, I've become friends with a lot of people in the community, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best communities I've ever. I mean, I'm part of a lot of communities on social media, all fantastic communities. I'm part of the Lego community. I'm part of the railway modelling community. I'm also part of the autistic community because I am autistic. You know, and I do talk about that. I am an advocate on Twitter. Mostly my Twitter feed is YouTube related, autism related, and surprisingly very little else, even though I'm also an adult fan of Lego. Maybe Lego as well, but not really so much about the railway modelling or yeah, you know, I do a lot of promotion. I do a lot of promoting for my channel. I sometimes think people must go, oh, here he goes again. But you know, if you're that passionate about something, and I am truly passionate about my project, I refer to it as my project, because in a way it is. I mean, to think it will be a year since the original version of Chapter 1 was uploaded in July. If you go onto my channel at the moment, you'll see that it said that Chapter 1 was uploaded about 3 months ago. Well, I actually re-edited Chapters 1 to 6, plus a few of the side story chapters, because the music had copyright claims against them, not strikes, claims. So I started using royalty-free music from Kevin MacLeod, which on the videos I've listed every single track so that the royalty-free remains and there's no copyright claims. Then I edited the audio because some of the audio was all over the place, especially my audio, because I used to record with my phone. Before I got the Blue Yeti, I recorded with my phone, and the audio on that isn't exactly. I mean, it's fine for something like a live stream, absolutely fine for something like a live stream. But for actually doing, I had to record it as a video, upload it to my laptop, convert it from video to MP3. It was a very long-winded process. So once I got the Blue Yeti, I'm just able to plug it straight into my laptop. Excuse me. This chair's rather uncomfortable this evening. I do beg your pardon. Do excuse me. Oh, there we go. That's better. Where was I? Oh yeah. So once I got the Blue Yeti, you know, plug it into my laptop, go through Audacity. End of story really with that, because it just makes life so much easier. My one piece of advice to any person wanting to become an ASMR artist: invest in a proper microphone. You know, invest in a proper microphone. Doesn't matter what make, whether it's a Yeti, a Blue Yeti, a Tascam, or whatever you have. Find a proper microphone. You know, can do binaural. It could just be a straight up. Don't get one of these. I will be honest. Don't invest in a cheap microphone. Get one of really good quality. You know, don't just pick the first microphone. You know, even go for one of these Blue Yeti micros, because they're just equally as good quality as well. So I would say invest in your equipment. I do hope that once I can start live streaming through YouTube properly, once I do reach the golden milestone of 1,000, which will take quite some time, I won't need to use Streamlabs anymore, and I can actually do live streaming on YouTube through my phone. As I say, if you've seen my live streams on YouTube, you will see how poor quality my laptop is. My laptop camera is. It's absolutely dreadful. What I'd like to really do is, reach that so I can actually... Because one thing I will say, I have very little interest in monetization. I might have clicked on the button that says, send me an email when it's ready, but to be honest with you, there's only two real things I want from the 1,000, because I know you need about something like 4,000 hours of view time, and some of my videos are about an hour long, and I know a lot of people only watch about a minimum of 4 minutes before they get bored. Some people don't even watch 4 minutes. And I've heard that a lot through various people of the community, in the ASMR community. There is a lament sort of about that. But the two things I really want to be able to do, by getting that milestone, is the community tab, and I have mentioned this already in this live stream, the community tab, because it means I will be able to, I won't have to just solely rely on Twitter and Instagram to communicate with the people in my community, as it were, that I've built up. And secondly, being able to do proper live streams actually through YouTube, rather than having to go through a secondary piece of software, which means I have to use equipment that's very poor quality, really. And I truly like to think that I give my subscribers the best, that I can give, and I feel in a way, with the quality of the picture of my live streams, I'm not really giving my best. The audio's fine, but no, I want them to be able to see it. It comes across as grainy, because it's a laptop camera. It's grainy. It's not fit for purpose, really. I do have a digital camera. I do have a Canon, which is my main photography camera, but I need to work out how to link that up to my laptop so I can do it properly. I know how to use it as a video camera, I just don't know how to make it into a webcam. I've never been able to work that out. My phone will basically become my webcam once I reach that golden milestone. And as I say, I pretty much work on everything in the project, apart from in the collaborations. Obviously, people create their own elements for that, but they all get scripts, they all get notes, they all, I never actually, for people who make videos, I never actually tell them what to wear. I give them themes and styles as recommendations. What they decide to wear as a costume if they make a video is absolutely up to them. Audio is a bit more easier because, as I say, I've got a whole library of imagery that I use. Some audio videos don't have the characters appear on screen at all, it's just a background. A couple of characters that I have finally introduced faces for are, funnily enough, Rafik. He now has a face to his name. And who's the other one? Geoffrey of Trigon. He started out as an audio-only character in an empty room, but he now has a face. And I would say the next person, or the next character to actually get a proper face for the series, through this is all done through Pixabay. I trawl through Pixabay to find pictures that I really feel will represent the characters or the locations. So far we've got most of the desert realm, especially the city of Gebelra, and the city of Ondar. Now, Ondar city being the main capital where the monarch resides. Now, you know, I can use all the same imagery for other cities as well, and that works rather well. I've got it all worked out. As I say, I've got plans, everything planned for at least up to chapter 31, and then I will start planning again and writing again, developing new characters, new concepts. As I say, I've got the academy in that I've still got 4 characters to look to find. You can see posts about that on my Instagram feed, on my Twitter feed. You know, there's things there, and yeah. I mean, I love doing what I do. I absolutely love doing what I do. I love collaborating with people. I love working with them and seeing, as I said earlier on in this live feed, I truly believed this project wouldn't even get past chapter 1. I really thought it would fall flat, and my expectations have been exceeded beyond my wildest dreams, really. Absolutely beyond my wildest dreams, because I used to write scripts as a teenager, and none of my friends were interested at the time. None of them were interested. It's amazing to have been able to find people who actually want to be involved in bringing a dream to life. You know, I mean, the Lord of War and Heartache has always existed in some sense or form since I was a teenager, but it never had a title. Never ever had a title. The whole concept of the Tyrant King, I mean, back then I was working on a medieval sort of fantasy called The Chronicles of Sir Robert de Henge, which I wrote the script, but it never even got printed. However, I have managed to put his name and the character of Juliet de Henge, his wife, into The Lord of War and Heartache. You know, I've taken elements from other projects that I wrote as a teenager, and you know, redeveloped them for this idea. So, I mean, let's face it, I'm 36 now. I started writing all my projects when I was about... I kind of got into script writing when I was about 13, so you're looking at about 23 years since any of the concepts. So a lot of this idea has been in development for that long, in one form or another, and I've just finally found a way of making it actually work. I mean, when I first wrote my very first script, it was absolutely dreadful. you know, I found a copy of my original sci-fi script, and it was awful, 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 awful to behold. You know, there was. I really do have to do a reading of it one day. I think I will have to do a reading of it one day. But all in all, yeah, I mean, in all truth and honesty, this project has become more than that. It has become a passion. It has become something I truly love doing. You know, I don't want to do it as a job. I want to keep it as a hobby. I don't want to make money from it. I have, as I said, I have no interest whatsoever with monetization or anything like that. You know, I just want to be able to share it with as many people as possible. That's the whole point I started it. You know, I feel you can't keep a story to yourself. If you've got an idea and you've got something that you really, really feel passionate about, or you know, you feel needs to be shared with the world, it just, it has to be shared. It wants to be shared. I want to share it. I really want to share it, because it's so important to me to do so. It's my imagination. I can't. It would be selfish. That's how I feel. I genuinely feel that. It would be absolutely selfish of me to keep such an idea to myself. It's a story that should be told to the world, to, you know, to as many people who want to hear it and want to enjoy it as much as, you know. It gives me a lot of pleasure to write and develop and edit and everything. I know I've been repeating myself a lot about this, but I truly have belief and faith in it. I really think it's something I can be proud of. It's something that I feel is an achievement, and that is something I was once told by someone a very long time ago, that if I ever had a YouTube channel or anything like that, or social media at all, I would be very, very lucky if I even got a single subscriber, because according to them, I was the most boring, unlovable, unfunny, they basically called me every word you can think of. You know, I was going through a real dark time, and ASMR saved me. ASMR saved me. You know, and this is my way of giving back. This is my way of giving back. I don't think if I'd ever found ASMR, I truly feel that I wouldn't be here. It saved me so many times from myself and self-destruction, you know. And to be able to be here and create my own content when I face so much adversity and so much bigotry and hatred because of who I am and how I am, it's my way of giving back to the community. It's my way of saying thank you, in a way. Thank you for keeping me here. Thank you for you know, keeping me balanced all those years when I was in my darkest period of my life. It just it kept me going. It kept me going, and we're talking about the early days of ASMR back in sort of 2009, 2010, when it was still the Whisper community, you know. I mean, heck, I remember when GB first started, and when Maria Gentle Whispering first started, and you know, all the names that are big now, you know. I mean, I remember when ASMR Glow started, and ALB in Whisperland, you know, people like that, you know, some of the biggest names in the community. And I mean, for many years, I tried ASMR once, many years ago. Once on an old channel that's no longer active. It was deleted, that channel, and someone just told me I just sounded creepy. I sounded creepy and should never do it, and you know, and yet, you know, so many years later, 2020 comes along, lockdown comes along, I'm put on furlough leave, very little to do to keep me busy. What do? I start an ASMR channel, and the rest, as they say, is history. Here I am, now nearly a year later, because my YouTube channel turns a year old in a month today, the 24th of June. You know, this is the 24th of May, that if you're watching this back on a replay, today is the day that I'm doing this live stream, in a month's time, that I reach my 1 year channelversary. And you know, I've said in many posts and tweets, you know, it would be truly amazing if I did reach the golden milestone by 24th of June, but you know, I accept that won't happen. I mean, if it reached 1,000 by my 37th birthday, July the 11th, that would be fantastic. That would make my birthday. But you know, it doesn't work like that. You know, life doesn't work like that. You can't work on building your hopes up, because you know, most of my younger days were about me getting my hopes up. You know, I had a lot of hopes when I was younger that were dashed by friends, and you know, and I just became a realist, really. You've got to be real in this world. I think you can't look at the world through blinkers or rose-tinted glasses. You've got to be real. And you know, I actually did set myself at the beginning of this year a 10-year period to reach 1,000 subscribers. I actually said on the 31st of December 2020 that if I didn't reach 1,000 subscribers by December the 31st 2031 or January the 1st 2032, I would quit completely. You know, I know that sounds ridiculous, considering that's a 10-year, and chances are I will reach my target, my goal, before that 10-year period is up. But that's how slow it feels like it's going to be. It feels like it will take 10 years. I mean, at the in my mind, it feels like it's going to take 1,000 years to reach 1,000 subscribers. And because I just don't feel like YouTube is putting my work out there. I do everything. I put the tags on. I put, you know, everything that makes it easier to find me. And yet, I try and find my work, and it's not there. YouTube is not supporting the small people. They are not supporting the small content creators, and it's, you know, I find that heartbreaking. When people like me work so hard on their content, yet I mean, there are channels, and I congratulate them for their, you know, for their creativity and everything. There are YouTube channels that gain 1,000 and even 10, 20,000 in a few months, and you know, and I keep wondering, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Because my channel is nearly a year old and I'm only at 328. Yeah, there are some channels that literally get into the 10,000s over. I mean, I congratulate them for it. I absolutely congratulate them for it. But when you put your life and soul and creativity into what you create for your channel, it just you just question yourself. What am I doing wrong? What am I not doing that puts myself out there? You know, it just feels so difficult, because as I say, I write all the scripts. Once I receive all the contributions, I edit them. I even make the videos for the audio contributions. I do the complex part. You know, I work out the plots and everything, and I'm up to what, chapter. Well, yeah, as I said, I've got planned up to chapter 31 of the series. I mean, as soon as we get to, say, chapter 20, I'll start planning and writing again. For the next batch of chapters, you know, I've still got characters that I need to get cast for chapters 16, 17 and 18. I can't do anything with them properly. I'm having to put back deadlines because I haven't got enough people. I need to find more people to help me with my characters. I mean, I can do most of the male voices, that's not a problem, and I am getting some male participants, thankfully, but you know, there's a lot of female characters, and there's also a lot of non-binary characters as well. I've created a lot of characters that could be gender fluid, non-binary, because it doesn't matter who plays them, as long as they want to participate. But you know, you genuinely pour your heart and soul into a project, and it just feels so disheartening when you genuinely feel like you don't get any sort of support from the platform that hosts your project. You know, you get an email once in a while that tells you what's going on in the background and everything, but they don't support the little channels. They only seem to support the big channels that make them the money, and that to me is absolutely backward. I mean, you know, as I say, I absolutely congratulate the big channels and everything that they do, but what about the support for the little people? What about the support for the underdogs? You know, the ones that are working so hard to go up the ranks. You know, I really don't know. I really don't know anymore. I'm not giving up though. I am not giving up this project. I'm far too invested. I'm far too passionate about it. I love this project. I love the whole concept. you know, I mean, we haven't even got up to the war yet, and the war is coming. The second war against the Tyrant King that's always been in the plan. That has always been in the plan. It won't actually be the war itself, but it will be how people have been affected by the war, because I want to try and keep it ASMR still, you know, so they could be healers and, you know, a lot of wounded soldiers, things like that sort of thing. But that's something I've got to try and work out. Yeah, and it you know, it really, it's really become a part of me. You know, it's a real dream come true to be able. Even as a teenager, I always dreamed of having something like a writing script and having like a television series. It's as close as I've been able to get to actually living out my actual dream that I had as a teenager. Even though it was shot down by people in authority at school and everything, telling me I wasn't a good enough actor, or I wasn't clever enough to write scripts, or my ideas were stupid, or I was stupid. But yeah, I do talk about that a lot, but I want to try and keep this live stream positive. I really don't know now. But I'm not going to let it stop. I'm not going to let the pitfalls that are ahead of me, or I'm passing at the moment, stop me. I'm continuing to write. I'm continuing to create, edit, collab with people, work on my project. I know it's all I've spoken about this evening, but YouTube has been a huge part of my life in the last year since the pandemic, and social media has been really good to me. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Facebook, and I really have strong belief in my content. I really have faith in my content, because I feel it can just give so much joy. I mean, so many people that have been involved have found so much enjoyment from it. It gives me joy to know how much they love it and being part of it. I can't do it on my own. I can't do it on my own now. The world that I've created is far too big for me to do it alone. And I don't want to do it alone. I seriously don't want to do it alone. I like having a cast. I like having people give their individual creativity to a character, rather than me tell them what to do, or what I give them the scripts. I call them guidance scripts. They don't actually have to stick to the script. They can ad-lib, they can improvise, they can do what they want, they can rewrite the entire thing if they want. It just once the script is handed over, the participant has 100% free reign over how they develop their character. I have no involvement at all unless they ask for my involvement. Everything they create is their own, and I think that's what makes it so perfect, because 99.9 recurring % of the time, they absolutely hit the nail on the head for my vision, and that's amazing. But I think it's because they have such freedom over what they create for my project. I absolutely think that's what makes it so good. And even the audio, if they have a voice in mind, then it absolutely, again, I have had no major complaints or anything. Most of the issues I've had have been technical. So, you know, if you know, I've had a few videos sent through to me by participants that has been missing sound, and all they had to do is resend me the video. That's really the only issues I've ever really encountered, and I think that's what makes it so good. People believe in my vision as well. You know, I've not once been told, "Oh, why are you doing this? This isn't what the community." You know, I've had so much support and friendship from people. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You know, I have met so many good and kind-hearted and supportive people in the ASMR community. I can't speak more highly of it. I mean, granted, and I'm not going into this, we have our ups and downs. We do, as a community, have our ups and downs. What community doesn't? But we stick together. We do stick together and support each other, and that is what makes it so special to me. So I think on that note, I'm actually going to call this one, I think I'm going to call this live stream complete. I've waffled on enough, I think, for the last, I think about an hour. I think I've waffled on enough, really, about the same thing over and over again, and I know it's repetitive, but sometimes you just have to put the message across in the best way you know how. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I will be doing a few more live streams here on Instagram. I will continue doing them on YouTube, but as I say, because I have to use Streamlab, the picture quality, it will be very poor, because obviously I'm a small channel with only currently 330 odd, I think, subscribers. I think 328 last time I looked, and you know, I can't use my phone to live stream through YouTube until I get what I refer to as the golden milestone of 1,000. I just wish YouTube would give everyone the ability to live stream almost immediately. It just doesn't feel fair, really. As I say, they do just seem to care about the big channels, and they leave us small channels to flounder and try and figure it all out for ourselves. So anyway, I shall sign off. Thank you very much. If you're watching this back on the replay on Instagram, please do visit my channel. If you really do enjoy what you see, and you really want to invest in the storyline, please do consider subscribing. There's no obligation to do so at all, but every subscription I receive puts me one step closer to 1,000 subscribers, and that glorious community tab, and the ability to actually do proper live streaming using a proper decent camera that's my phone. So for this moment, I'd like to wish you well. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for following me here on Instagram. I truly, genuinely and truthfully, you know, it is greatly, graciously and truthfully appreciated. I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart, to be honest. Thank you. Thank you. And hopefully next time I will have something else to talk about on the live stream, but goodbye for now. All the best.